Merhaba arkadaşlar, ben Emre. Tangle Tower'a kaldığımız yerden devam ediyoruz. En son Fifi ile tanışmıştık. Bayağı sevimli bir karakter, şu anda best favorim yani. İnşallah katil çıkmaz. Çıkmaz diye de düşünüyorum.
It's an illustrated book about birds.
It's been left open. Looks like somebody was halfway through reading it.
Or it was left open for us to find.
Ever so slightly unnerving.
Mürekkep kuşu diğer göryabani kuşlarından bile daha uzun bir ömre sahip. Aşırı derecede zeki bir kuştur. Diğer kuşlar genelde ona saldırgan davranıyor ve bu yüzden mürekkep kuşu ömrünün çoğunu yalnız geçiriyor. Beslenme alışkanlıkları çok spesifik. Sadece Tatum amikonun isimdeki bitki tohumlarını yiyor. Bu ne?
Is that a snow globe?
Of sorts.
Tangle Tower şeklinde.
Hey, look at that. It's a model of Tangle Tower. There's the lake and those weird mountains. What are you thinking?
That would make an amazing souvenir.
Bunlar ne?
Hey, look at that.
Aynı
That
şey
would make
söyle.
Hey, it's a what do you
That
think?
would make an amazing.
Bu ne?
What's in those bottles?
I'm not sure. Soil samples?
Bunlar ne?
Books about ancient history, I think.
These books are ancient history. I think they'd crumble into dust if I tried to pick them up.
Good excuse.
Thanks.
Bu ne?
Books about geography.
Coğrafyaymış.
Skip.
Bu böcek.
Books about insects.
Well, theoretically. There's not a single book on that shelf.
Huh.
Bu.
Books about space.
They're relatively untouched.
Burada ne var?
Books about birds.
The shelves are about half empty.
Oh, so you're a the shelves are half empty kind of person.
You knew this already.
Bu da ağaç mı?
Books about nature?
Bu da.
A chalkboard.
Is this a library or a classroom?
Bakalım bir. Bu ne böyle?
Any idea what this means?
Not a clue.
Math equations.
Don't look at them for too long. You'll give yourself a headache.
Başın ağrı falan.
Math.
Don't look at them,
Tamam.
you'll give yourself a
I'm not
headache.
sure I learned anything from that.
Tamam, şimdi bunun odasına bir gidelim. Fifi'nin odası. Bunun da bir ayısı var.
You suspect. Don't think you can get out being questioned just because you're a bear.
I'm innocent, I promise.
Save it for the judge.
Bir sürü içecek.
I don't know what that drink is, but I bet it's 99% sugar.
I'd read you the ingredients, but there's nothing written on the can.
That's even worse.
Bu ne?
It's a magnifying glass.
Büyüteçmiş.
A big one.
How come you don't have one of those?
Why? Because I'm a detective? Should I start smoking a pipe too?
You
Hmm.
couldn't pull off the pipe.
Üzdün adamı ya. Bu ne?
Looks like a microscope. A big one.
Can I touch it?
Dokunalım.
I'm not sure this is a microscope.
4 büyüteç lensinin yatay olarak doğru konumlara kaydır. Ne yapmamız lazım? Anahtarı mı oluşturacağız? Tamam. Bunlardan bir tanesi küçültüyor olması lazım. Öyle değil. Küçültüyor mu? Hayır. Bu küçültüyormuş. Ne yapacağız? Şöyle bir şey mi oluşturacağız?
I guess that's wrong.
The 4 lenses all have different magnification strengths.
Tamam, anladık
So they
onu.
must each have a specific position along the rail.
Evet. Evet de. Bu 3 artı. Bu çok büyüten. Bunu böyle yapsak okey oldu bence. Bence oldu bu
Oh,
sefer.
that was it.
Nice work. Sounds like it unlocked.
Ne açtık?
Yeah, it's built on top of a little metal box. There's a book in here.
Ne bu kitabı? Yine şifreli bir kitap. Gizemli günlük. Kullanılmış bir kitap. Bir günlüğü Android ve metal cihazla kilitlenmiş. Tamam, bunu sorarız. Burada cips mi var?
What's that big book on the desk?
Looks like something Fifi's been writing.
Is it a clue?
I hope not.
Umarım
It's
değil.
just a bunch of notes about her microbiology experiments.
Şu ne?
Fifi's got something pinned up here.
What is all this?
Bu ne?
Who is that?
No idea. I think that's supposed to be Felix.
Hı hı.
Is that supposed to be me? Why do I look so angry?
That's just the face you make when you're thinking. Does make you wonder, though. When did Fifi draw all this?
And that's you, Sally.
What? I do not look like that, do I?
Who's that?
Not sure.
Şu şey.
That's gotta be Flora.
Burada fazla bir
Did
şey
you
öyle.
notice who isn't on here?
Freya?
Evet.
Mm-hmm. And Fifi herself.
Merak diye başarım aldım bak.
A pretty ornate window with a great view of the lake.
We're supposed to be looking for clues, not assessing the real estate value.
And over here, you'll see the owners use sheets of paper to block out all that unnecessary natural light. A simple trick, but it really transforms the space.
Burada başka bir şey yok gibi.
Boxes of stuff.
Buraya bas.
That's a whole lot of books.
Başka bakacak bir şey yok. Bence Fifi'nin odasından çıkabiliriz. Şimdi şunlara bir daha soracağım şeyi. Al, uyan bakalım. Fifi'yi
My
soralım.
daughter Fiona, our little burgeoning genius. You've met her?
We did. She's going by Fifi these days.
So I've heard. I asked her some weeks ago, what's wrong with your real name? She told me, get this, she wanted a name with an even number of syllables. She makes up the strangest things when she's under pressure.
What makes you think she made that up?
I happen to know the real reason she prefers Fifi over Fiona.
Oh, yeah?
It's what Freya called her.
Şimdi şunları bir
I've
sorun.
been carving for a couple of years now. I was hopeless when I started, but it didn't take me long to master it, as you can see.
Do you paint them yourself too?
I do indeed. Freya kindly taught me the basics. Nowadays, I can make just about anything I can imagine. Of course, this particular model is a self-portrait based on hard fact.
Hard fact, huh? So, you own a sword, Felix?
Of course, I own a great many. But my weapons are stored well away from Tangle Tower. Safety first.
Kesin yok.
All that.
İş güvenliği.
Ah, you
bakalım.
found it. What do you think, huh? I had to rush the final touches a little bit. It turned out all right, though.
What's it supposed to be?
It's Flora, of course, surrounded by all her favorite people.
En sevdiği insanlar ama Fifi yok fark ettiyseniz.
That's one of Freya's paintings, is it not? It's
Evet.
impressive, but a little miserable for my tastes.
Şunu
My
sorun.
daughter Fiona and her best friend, they grow up so fast.
Do you know why it's ripped like that?
Ah,
Fiona
yes.
Fifi'ymiş
I
bu.
didn't even notice. No idea. Freya was quite the talent. She had a way of capturing the spirits of her subjects. Not in an evil way, in a good way.
Kuş
Where did
kitabı.
you find that?
It was in the library.
Really? How odd.
Kütüphanede olmaması
Why would
gerekiyormuş.
someone lock up a book like that?
We think it's a secret diary.
Aha! Teenagers are funny, aren't they?
There's something about Felix's painting supplies. Something suspicious.
Let's ask him about it.
Hadi soralım. Şüpheymiş.
So, about this paint we found in your room.
Nothing suspicious about it. I used it to paint, obviously. Totally normal thing to do.
We never said it was suspicious.
Come on then, out with it. What exactly are you accusing me of?
Boya kutusu senin
It's
değil.
not your paint pot. Did you take it from somewhere else?
What on earth? It's definitely mine. I even have proof. Look, the lid matches the ones on all my other paint pots. End of discussion.
That's not the end of the discussion.
We need a clue to compare with Felix's red paint. Something to prove who it actually belongs to.
Buraya gelen boyaları. Fifi kırmızı maddenin boyadığı kan olduğu
Let's
için.
take a closer look at this.
Dur. Bak bir şey fark ettim. Markaları şey. Çalındı ve şununla değiştirildi. Şunun tarafından kırıldı. Bununla dolu. Felix'in boya kutusu cinayet silahı olarak kullanıldı. Ve ikisi de Fiona'nın kuresinde kaldı. Ama bunu gizlemek için kapaklar değiştirildi. Böyle.
Freya's red paint pot was stolen and replaced with Felix's red paint pot, but the lids were swapped to hide it.
That red paint is from Freya's supplies, not yours. Swapping the lids doesn't hide what you did.
Why are you bothering me about paint anyway? And none of this is connected to your murder.
Bakalım. İçi tamamen boşalttı. İçinde hiç şundan olmayan, bunu doldurmak için kullanılan boşaltılı diyelim. Kırmızı boya.
This red paint pot had been emptied of all its red paint before Freya used it to paint Flora. Nope.
Neyi yanlış yaptım? İkisini yanlış yapmışım. Şunu kan yap. Böyle
This
yap
red
bakalım.
paint pot contained no blood before Freya used it to paint Flora. Almost. Maybe just change one thing.
Neyi değiştireceğiz? Bunu. Kanı
This red
doldurmak
paint
için daha
pot
mantıklı.
was
Evet.
used to fill up blood before Freya used it to paint Flora. Almost. Maybe just
Değil
change
mi?
one thing.
Böyle
This red paint
yazalım.
pot was somehow filled with blood before Freya used it to paint Flora.
Oh, that's definitely something. Right, fine. Here's the story. I was busy working on a project when I suddenly realized I had run out of red paint. There was a certain amount of time pressure, so I politely asked Freya if I could borrow hers. Just for a little while, you know, perfectly reasonable request.
But she said no.
I tried to explain why I needed it, but she didn't seem to care. So, well, I took Freya's red paint pot and swapped it with my own empty one.
You went into her room?
Not my proudest moment, but it's just paint. I didn't touch anything else.
And the paint pot you left behind was definitely empty?
Quite. I have absolutely no idea how it got blood in it, if that's what you're asking.
Why were you in such a hurry to get a hold of red paint anyway?
I was trying to finish this in time for Flora's birthday. I needed red to paint the final details.
Could you not have just used a different color?
Out of the question. It had to be red and white.
If you managed to finish it, why haven't you given it to Flora yet?
Well, I decided against it in the end. After what happened, seemed a bit insensitive.
Bayağı ilginç yani. Bunlar da değilmiş. Şimdilik bir Bıcırı'ya bir daha bir gidelim.
Do
Şu
you
bir
know
soru.
who was reading this book?
It belongs to my mother.
And she left it in the library?
Tamam.
No, my mother has not been in the library for some time.
Yazık. Günlük kimin?
A book.
Bir kitap.
My book.
And what's in it?
Pages.
Sayfalar. Sayfalar dedi.
There's something about the image of Flora in the painting. Something suspicious.
Let's ask her about it.
Hadi Fiora'ya gitti. Gel bakalım.
So, this painting, specifically that knife in Flora's hand,
Yeah, it's creepy. But we didn't find a knife anywhere in the room. So what's going on?
Konuşmayacak değil mi? O bir bıçak değil. Bence.
it's not a knife. We need a clue to compare with the painting, something to explain what that knife shape actually is.
Iıı. Benzer nesneyi açıklayan bir şey. Benzer nesne. Fırça olabilir mi?
That's not it.
Değilmiş. Şu.
That's not it.
Şuradaki
That's
gül
not it.
olabilir mi? Hayır.
That's not it.
Kuş tüyü olabilir mi?
Let's take a
Evet.
closer look at this.
Şurada gördüm şimdi. Bu bir bataklık canavarı. Sadece melek kuşunun
The
şöyle.
painted knife is actually just a feather from an ink dip bird.
It's definitely the right shape, but the book's not in color. The thing Flora's holding in the painting is red and white, specifically. Is there anything to suggest that the ink dip bird is red and white too?
Bakalım. Şu.
This little thing? I don't understand why Felix would make a model of this bird as part of a gift for Flora. And come to think of it, why would Flora be holding a...
Gören elinde niye tüy olsun ki? Ne olabilir? Arkadaşlarına gösterdi, sakladı, pazarlık etmek için bir suç kanıtıydı, yok etti. Tek bir tüy arkadaşlarına gösterdi. Kendinin evcil hayvanı. Fiora'ya ihanet etti, o da yedi ya. Fiora'ya saldırdı ve o yok etti. Fiora evcil hayvanıydı, o da onu hatırlatmak için Penny'nin evcil hayvanı
The
olmak
ink
istemiyor.
dip bird was Penny's pet, so she kept a single feather to show her friends. Nope.
Neyi yanlış yaptık? Doğru şeyleri seçmişim. Bir ona ihanet etti. O da şunu yedi. Yok et. Bunu yok etti. Hatırlamak için
The
olabilir.
ink dip bird was Flora's pet, so she kept a single feather to destroy later. Almost. Maybe just...
Neyi yok etti değil mi?
The
Saklamış
ink
olması
dip
lazım o
bird
zaman.
was Flora's pet, so she kept a single feather to remember it by.
She kept the bird as a pet. And it died?
Maybe it flew away.
Flora spends all her time staring out the window.
Either way, she kept the feather. I think it was pretty important to her.
All right. So she was holding the feather while Freya was painting her. But where is it now? You'd think she'd keep it somewhere close by.
Yeah, I think she does. Normally. This is where Flora usually keeps her feather.
Tuttuğu yer budur diye
But
düşünüyorum.
we opened it. It's empty.
Mm-hmm. Completely empty.
Tamam bir
Flora?
konuş ya.
She's pointing at something in the corner of the room.
It's just a pile of books. They're not. Wait, there's something tucked inside this one.
Büyü mü çıkacak? Ay Fiora küçük bir kuşun çizimleri arasında elle yazılmış bir not var. Bunlar senin için sevgiler Fiora'ya. Çok güzel. Şimdi şuraya gidelim bakalım. Yeni kişiyle tanışacağız. Ama bir sonraki bölümde. Burada bitiriyorum. Beğenmeyi, yorum atmayı ve abone olmayı unutmayın. Bir sonraki videolarda görüşmek üzere. Bay bay.